Hey y'all. Don't normally do this, but I guess this is now Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days in a row where our church has put out at least a brief live video. Yesterday's obviously was not so brief. It was an hour-long service, so thankful for all of you guys that were there, and we got to worship together. I think I said that then. I say it again now. Just really felt like in a very powerful way that God's presence was there in a special and awesome way. And as some of you know, I am a 80s music aficionado, and one of the songs that I have stuck in my head currently is Too Much Time on My Hands by Styx. If you don't know that song, you absolutely should. If you have not seen that video in the last 30 years, you absolutely need to get on YouTube and find the original video, Too Much Time on My Hands by Styx. It is epic. Anyways, I know that for some people, this is kind of a weird time as far as what you're having to do, what your schedule is, people having to work from home, having kids at home. It feels like all of your routines are being disrupted. And for some people, there really is. There's going to be this sense in which you've got time that you weren't expecting to have. If you're, teachers, for instance, are in a completely different situation, and people whose jobs are being scaled back or whatever are in a weird situation, and there's lots of people who suddenly have a disrupted schedule. And here's the thing that I would recommend is that I would highly recommend, again, this is kind of what the little title I put on this video, is that you redeem the time. You've got time that you weren't expecting. Fill it with something that you normally wouldn't. If you like watching stuff on Netflix, you like watching stuff on Hulu or whatever, you can keep watching those shows. I'm not saying that, but don't fill that extra time with more of that kind of extra kind of stuff. I made a decision last week. I am trying to actually started some of this with Lent. Some of it I started last week as this stuff was happening. I made a decision. I'm going to try a week. Finish book number 2 at the end of week number 2 here in just a little bit. I started an audio Bible reading plan. I don't know if you guys know the Bible app. They can read it to you. Having the Bible read to me in 90 days, which sounds like crazy, except for, especially if you kind of make them a little bit faster, which you can do. At most, it is between 30 minutes and an hour of your time while you're just listening. And you may think, I don't have an hour, but you probably do now. And at least a lot of you do. And to fill your time with something that can bring about a bit of spiritual renewal in you. So find a book that you feel like can challenge you spiritually. Pick up a Bible reading plan that might be a little more challenging than you would normally pick. And allow God to take something that is problematic, that is troublesome, that is hard, that is chaotic, and use it to do something really cool, like, again, a spiritual renewal inside of you. Because it honestly can be, again, I don't want it to sound like there's an upside to this. This is not an upside. This is just a potential. In that verse where it says that God is working in all things for good, doesn't make something good. This is not a good situation we find ourselves in. But one of the ways that God can work in this for good is as our schedules are completely disrupted and we start asking a lot of questions about what's going on and who we are and what we do, what's going on, where's my hope, all of these kinds of things, is it is often in these kinds of crises that God does something really cool in individual people and in His church and in the movement worldwide. And so I would encourage you, and I would just encourage all of us as a church to make some goals over the next few weeks to say that I am going to take at least a significant portion of the extra time and energy that I have right now, and instead of reading one more article, reading one more news website that is making me more and more panicked, making me more and more frustrated, instead of watching one more show or doing one more thing that allows me to avoid thinking about the deeper things of life, I'm going to take some time. I'm going to redeem the time. And I'm going to read His Word. I'm going to spend some time in prayer. I'm going to read. I'm going to write notes to friends. I'm going to encourage people around me. I'm going to find a way for God to make something great out of something that's terrible. And so just put that in your mind. I'll give you some updates over the next couple of weeks about the books I'm reading, how far I am. I'm through I'm almost through the book of Exodus in just under a week, reading Genesis, Exodus, reading a couple of books by Mark Batterson. Just finished Double Blessing last week and Chase the Line. We'll finish that today. I'm either going to read a book on leadership that somebody recommended by Brene Brown next, or finally finish Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. I tried to read it a few years ago, and I think my heart wasn't really quite ready for the awesome content in there, and I'm ready to kind of re-engage with it. Never quite finished it. So those will probably be my books over the next 2 weeks. Encourage you to do the same. So why not in the comments, if you think this is a good idea, why don't you put in the comments some ideas that you have, some things that you're going to try to do to redeem the time so that God can do a really awesome work in you over the next few weeks. Love you guys, miss you guys, and I hope you have a blessed week, and just know that we are definitely praying for you guys. Take care.